There has been so much beautiful animation. Shows where animation does more than just look pretty, it elevates the experience, brings life to every frame. It makes us feel the story and the characters in a way that words simply can't. You see, animation is like the tide. It pulls us into a work and envelops us in it. Wait, I'm sorry. What the fuck is that? Who put that in there? You put that in there. What do you mean I put that in there? I don't control the edit, buddy. What do you mean you don't control the edit? You're literally talking to yourself right now. I am you. You put that in there. Bad animation can pull you out of a story just as quickly as good animation will pull you into one. Your brain immediately recognizes that something looks bad and it stops caring about anything else that's going on. This is why bad animation can kill shows. And anime companies know this. That's why MAPPA employees only get 5 minutes a day to see the sun. Don't even think about going to see your family, okay? Get back to work. And still, bad animation always slips through the cracks. Animation is expensive, coordinating animation teams is difficult, and projects are often rushed and underfunded. None of this happened with the beginning after the end though, it was just bad for the love of the game. If you couldn't tell already, I'm slightly salty about the animation of T-Bait. As someone who read the entirety of the manhwa and went on to read the light novel, when I heard T-Bait was getting an anime, I jumped for joy. A light novel that I had read and truly enjoyed was finally going to be animated. I was so happy, and then I found out it was going to be produced by Studio A-Cat. See, on the surface, Studio A-Cat wants to present themselves as a normal animation studio. But in reality, they are a terrorist organization created for the sole purpose of destroying all things good so that everyone in the world begins to turn on each other and tear each other apart. So Nink, you answered all our questions perfectly. There's just one more thing. What the fuck is this video? You see, I was just trying to make a fun little anime video, you know. It's just, Get Out. Sorry, I mean, Get Out. As you can see, my chances of getting a job in the future have gone down to a now about 0% chance. So if you could like and subscribe to my channel, that would be appreciated. April 2nd, 2025. The T-Bait anime was a stillbirth, dead upon arrival. The show's first episode came out and all hope for a good adaptation had left my body at this point. But what made the animation so bad? Well, for one, the fights were basically a slightly higher budget PowerPoint presentation. You see, fight animation is the bread and butter of any shonen animation, because story and plot are lame and unnecessary. All I actually need to enjoy a show is aura and impact frames. Look, it's like if I told you Demon Slayer was about dudes who killed demons and it looked like this. Shinu Junbi Oshi Nasai and... You'd probably be like, that sounds fucking boring. But if I was to tell you Demon Slayer was about dudes killing demons and it looked like this... you would probably think, that's fucking awesome. See, it's actually all about looks. Just be animated, lil bro. Okay, that's enough. It wasn't just the poor fight animation that killed this show. T-Bait had more than just fights and aura going for it. It actually had a plot. And I could understand that fights are often expensive and difficult to animate, but it's the fact that any charm and comedic effect that was present in the manhwa was completely removed out of pure laziness. Take this argument at the dinner table between the MC's parents, for example. The vegetables come alive, fighting for each of the two sides, bringing what would otherwise be a boring scene to life. Now, let's check out how the show did it. No, you can't take my son away from me. You can't do this to me.
Shut up, bitch!
It gets to the point where animation is so bad, it has to be rage bait. There's this scene in the manhwa where this old dude throws a dagger at Arthur, but it's made out of rubber because he was just testing him, haha, funny joke. But the anime takes this scene and changes the dagger into green visual effects goop. Like, what is even the point of that? There's no way this was any cheaper than animating a dagger being thrown. They just did it in order to make the scene worse. It was pretty clear at this point that the show's whole point was to capitalize and profit off the amazing source material and not actually care about the longevity of creating a faithful adaptation. And pretty much everyone agrees, hence why there's a petition to remake the entire show that got over 50,000 signatures. But, you know, I don't think that really matters anyway, because there is no T-Bait anime. Let's talk about when things are a little bit more tragic. When there is clearly passion behind a work, but it still falls short. Uzumaki. one of the titans of the horror manga genre. A manga highly praised for its artwork, Junji Ito creates some of the most disturbing imagery where each page turn can make you shudder. And the first episode of the anime captures this perfectly. I mean, just look at this greasy little guy. Ew, gross. Get him away from me. He's creeping me out. Why is he so wet? It's gross. Get him. He's disgusting. Ew, get him off my screen. But then arrives the second episode, one which threw the community into a frenzy due to just how bad the animation got, with this one scene bearing the brunt of the hate. I mean, damn, this is just kind of sad to look at. I mean, I bet I could even do this myself. I mean, look, I literally am. There goes my guy. I'll make sure to leave my job application on Studio A Cat's desk. But it isn't just this one poorly animated scene. The show completely loses all of its previous charm. Characters which were once disturbing to look at now just look kind of goofy. Scenes where there is originally an aura of suspense and solemn now feel empty. Animation truly is the beating heart of a show, and without it, the blood runs cold. There's no excitement, no intensity, and no life. And it's crushing to see this happen to a show which had such a promising first episode and such strong source material. In the case of Uzumaki, it was clear studio deadlines and issues where animation teams and directors were switched around and unable to properly organize themselves. Truly a sad way to go out. Sports anime is dope. Genuinely one of my favorite genres of all time, with shows like Kuroko no Basuke and Inazuma 11 being shows that got me into anime in the first place. But these shows are reliant on animation. They have to be able to capture the fluidity, the motion, and intensity of the sport they're representing. And as soon as it fails to do so, the show completely collapses. Blue Lock started out as the perfect sports anime. Each play was fast-paced, the camera moved like it was just trying to keep up with the players. The movement of each stride and strike felt intentional and real, and each play felt as fast-paced as it would in an actual game. And then came the second season. The animation team clearly couldn't keep up with fast approaching deadlines, and the movement of the animation became janky. Plays would come together like stop motion animation, with each touch of the ball only getting a single frame of animation. I mean, there are literally times where to animate movement they would just drag a PNG across the screen. Though by sacrificing the first episodes of this season, the show was able to create a masterpiece when it came to the under-20s game. Here there are sections of animation which are incredible to look at. The Rin and Sei final face-off looks insane. You can feel the weight of their bodies move and collide into one another. But to achieve this, the show ultimately sacrificed the entire first half of the season, and many fans were unable to survive off of hype PNGs and aura alone. So I guess this one's kind of up for debate. Some would say the show died in the first half of the season, though others would say it was revived in the under-20s match. I guess it's up for you to decide. I said in the beginning of this video that animation is like the tide. It can pull you into a work and immerse you beneath the waves of its story, enveloping you in its characters. But it can just as easily pull you out and spit you up back on the beach. There is plenty of bad animation out there. Just look towards any shitty isekai that's name is longer than its synopsis. It's bound to look terrible. But the tragedy lies in when animation actually kills a show. It doesn't come when you're starting with nothing, but when you're starting with everything. A brilliant story, beautifully written characters, unique art styles, glimpses of brilliance, and then you let it all go to waste. All the potential is there, the sparks and kindling are laid, but the execution fails to set it alight, snuffing out the promise and leaving behind only the smoke of what could have been.